A weeping Justin Trudeau has taken one last swipe at Donald Trump during his final speech as Prime Minister of Canada. Trudeau, who was forced to resign following a wave of resignations from his cabinet in the final months of 2024, was seen dabbing his eyes with a tissue during a conference to his Liberal Party tonight. His emotions, visible for all to see, encapsulated the highs and lows of his decade-long tenure as Canada's leader. A man who once commanded the world stage with youthful energy and progressive values now found himself bidding farewell under tumultuous circumstances. The moment was met with a mix of solemn silence and rousing applause from his loyal supporters, many of whom had stood by him throughout the trials of his leadership. The 53-year-old leader will be replaced by former Bank of England boss Mark Carney, who tonight won his party's leadership race and carried on the US-Canada war of words by accusing the firebrand Republican of attacking Canadian workers, families, and businesses. Carney, a seasoned economist with a reputation for his sharp financial acumen, now faced the daunting challenge of leading Canada through one of its most precarious moments in recent history. The transition of power came at a time of deep political division, economic uncertainty, and an increasingly strained relationship with the United States. Trudeau, addressing the gathered members of the Liberal Party conference, reflected on his time in office with a mix of pride and lament. His voice, though steady, carried the weight of years spent navigating some of the most contentious political battles Canada had seen in modern times. "Don't get me wrong," he said, pausing as he surveyed the room. "I'm damn proud of what we've done over these past 10 years. But tonight is about our future, as a party, as a country." The room erupted in applause. His words, though simple, carried the power of a leader who had devoted his life to public service. Trudeau had ushered in an era of progressive policies championing climate action, diversity, and human rights on the world stage. Yet, his final days in office were overshadowed by the political crisis that led to his resignation, a series of high-profile departures from his cabinet that signaled deep fractures within his administration. As Trudeau continued, he turned his attention to the ongoing threat of massive economic tariffs from U.S. President Donald Trump, a policy move that had the potential to cripple Canada's economy. "Canada is a country that will fight when we must," he declared, his voice rising with determination. "Elbows up." The phrase, a nod to Canada's gritty, unyielding spirit, resonated with the audience. Crowd murmured in agreement, understanding the gravity of the situation. With Trump's aggressive trade policies looming, many feared that Canada's economic stability was under siege. Trudeau sought to reassure his people, to remind them that their nation had faced adversity before and emerged stronger. He continued, "We are showing the world what makes us who we are by proudly embracing our identity amid existential challenges." The weight of his words was palpable. Canada was at a crossroads. Country's economic future hung in the balance, and the tension between the two neighboring nations had reached levels unseen in decades. The relationship between Canada and the United States, once built on mutual respect and cooperation, had devolved into a high-stakes battle over trade, sovereignty, and political ideology. As Trudeau looked across the sea of faces before him, he spoke directly to his fellow Liberals. "Your country needs you, maybe more than ever. And I have no doubt that you will answer the call because you've done it before. Liberals will meet this moment." Crowd erupted in cheers. Many wiped away tears, recognizing that this was more than just a farewell speech, it was a rallying cry. The fight for Canada's future was far from over, and Trudeau's words sought to ignite the passion that had once propelled the Liberal Party to power. He described the current period as a nation-defining moment, emphasizing the fragile nature of democracy. "Democracy is not a given. Freedom is not a given. Even Canada is not a given," he said solemnly. He paused, allowing the words to settle in the minds of those listening. The gravity of his message was clear. The values Canadians cherished were not guaranteed. They required vigilance, effort, and sacrifice. "None of those happened by accident, nor will they continue without effort," Trudeau asserted. "It takes courage, it takes sacrifice, it takes hope and hard work." His speech encapsulated the complexities of leadership, the triumphs, the struggles, and the relentless pursuit of progress in the face of opposition. Trudeau's tenure had been marked by both moments of great achievement and periods of deep controversy. His departure marked the end of an era, but his message was clear: the fight for Canada's values was far from over. Meanwhile, Carney's first speech as the incoming Prime Minister signaled the beginning of a new chapter. "The Americans want our resources, our water, our land, our country," Carney declared, his words striking a defiant tone. "Trump is attacking Canadian workers, families, and businesses. We cannot let him succeed." The words electrified the room. Carney, though new to the political arena, had quickly established himself as a fierce defender of Canadian sovereignty. The stakes were clear: Canada was engaged in a battle for economic independence, and Carney intended to fight. "I'm proud of the voices of Canadians who are making themselves heard and their wallets felt," he continued, gesturing to the crowd. The audience roared in approval. The atmosphere was charged with a renewed sense of purpose. "Our provinces are stepping up to the fight. When we are united, we are Canada strong," Carney proclaimed. The message was clear: Canada would not back down. The government had already taken retaliatory measures against Trump's trade policies, imposing 25% tariffs on $155 billion worth of American goods. The move was bold, unprecedented, and risked further escalating tensions with the United States. But to Carney, it was necessary. "The Canadian government has rightly retaliated," he affirmed. "My government will keep our tariffs on until the Americans show us respect." The declaration was met with thunderous applause. The sentiment was clear: Canadians were prepared to stand their ground, no matter the cost. Before appointing his successor, Trudeau had announced the implementation of tariffs, emphasizing that this was a moment to hit back hard. "This is a time to demonstrate that a fight with Canada will have no winners," he warned. The former Bank of England leader now faced an uphill battle. His tenure would begin in a climate of economic uncertainty and heightened political tension. Trade war with the United States had transformed from a diplomatic dispute into a full-blown economic standoff, with implications that could shape Canada's future for years to come. Carney, who had secured 86% of the votes to defeat former Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland in the party's leadership race, was now tasked with steering the nation through turbulent waters. He had won the confidence of his party, but the real challenge lay ahead: reviving the Liberal Party, negotiating with Trump, and preventing economic disaster. As he took the stage for his first official address, Carney's voice carried the weight of a leader who understood the stakes. "We have made this the greatest country in the world," he declared. "And now our neighbors want to take us. No way." The words echoed throughout the hall, igniting a renewed sense of defiance. Canada was ready to fight for its future, and under Carney's leadership, the battle had only just begun. Carney was the frontrunner, with the most endorsements from party members and the most money raised among the four Liberal candidates.